To Meghan Markle and her team, this was in fact worse, if that was possible, yes chums, worse than this. That's right, remember Southpark just over a year ago now. And apparently this is out to just cause her spite, hurt, pain, and more importantly, she wants to know this. As ever, let me explain. Hi, nice to see you. Thank you so much as ever for your time today. Back in the heart of London's Underground, of course. As people often say to me, Neil, you have a glamorous life. Not if you saw where I am. You travel around and you get to go into nice places, trust me. But, you know, going on public transport every day is the reason I think why you pick up a lot of colds, don't you? Particularly over here when you're not quite sure who you sat next to. You get what I'm saying, chums? Yes, people bringing in all sorts of diseases and germs on a regular basis that are not checked for. But of course, you're not allowed to be checked because you can't get in because they're too busy seeing them. You get the picture. You know where I'm going. A little bit like this particular story, as one can imagine over here. Now, over a week ago now, just over a week ago, this happened. That's right, a channel over in Australia decided to do a sit down, a profile of Prince William. You wouldn't have known that though, because, you know, it was really all about one thing, wasn't it? The former communications officer that still works for William via Earthshot, well, he had a few words to say about the errant two, that is, of course, Meghan and Harry. And it didn't go unnoticed, or indeed without recourse, shall we say, over in California. Hey, can I just thank you for enjoying the video regarding the reimagined stuff with the theatre. I'm glad so many of you noticed that, because it's not a criticism as such, but it is a bit like a scaled back production. I mean, there's a picture here of Oliver in the West End, and you kind of come away thinking, yeah, very nice, but actually very expensive to still go and see, and not the lush sets that we all remember of those wonderful musicals back in the day. Yes, they have to make cuts, but there's never any cuts to you, is there? The cost, you get the picture. Let's get back to your royal story of the day. Meghan Markle was, to say the least, steaming, and she cites this as being far worse and far more crippling for her brand than indeed Southpark, if that were possible. Southpark, remember, was the worldwide privacy tour who literally mocked Harry and Meghan for wanting privacy, but then carrying on doing what they want to do regarding privacy. You get the picture. It worked very well, and it was very negative, obviously, for them. But now this was where Jason Knorr sat down, of course, with Channel 9 over in Australia, and said that he had no regrets about outing, you know, the situation regarding the bullying, all alleged from the side of Meghan and Harry. But they've never counteracted on that. They're not personally suing him. They've never taken him to court, never sent him a legal letter. Why? Well, apparently this was because they don't want to offend the late Queen Elizabeth. But it's odd to note, isn't it? Because Meghan basically said that no one from the programme maker ever reached out for comment or indeed, a moment from her to say, well, what do you think about this? Now, why would they? Because it's on record and they're just interviewing one person directly. But either way, she's claiming that this was ill-advised, cruel, nasty, and more importantly, just upon her return back to the spotlight, a rather cruel thing to do. Now, he's allowed his opinion, and as many people have pointed out, of course, he picked up an award with an investiture inside royal circles. Well, that's their choice again. But, you know, never did Harry and Meghan ever reach out and try and connect back with Jason, maybe to make amends, maybe to get that picture that says, all's fine, we forgive each other. They are terrible at the brand of PR, and we've seen this on a daily basis with Meghan and her Instagram, right? But where it gets even more interesting is, well, he bleeped from the sidelines. These stories, you know, literally just pick up fire. And more importantly, this has now become the central point of the comeback, rather than, of course, people looking, thinking, and waiting to see whether, you know, Meghan cuts it with the jam or whatever else she's decided to spin in that rented kitchen coming up on Netflix. But as I said, she cites this as worse than Southpark. What do you think? Neil Sean in the very heart of London's Underground.